Yes, I can hear you a bit. All
Okay,
right.
thank you.
All right. Good afternoon, everyone. I welcome you to this session. I'm very excited to be hosting you. Once again, my name is Darius Nkwasiwe, founder at Building Capacity for Generation, empower people in financial literacy, personal development, and entrepreneurship. It's very exciting to be hosting you this evening once again. Can you please confirm that you can hear me well?
Yes, Darius, I can hear you.
Wonderful. So once again, it is a pleasure that all of you are here to learn. It is a pleasure that we are seeking to improve and better our personal finances. And it is a pleasure that we continue to seek knowledge to learn. Over the last few weeks, we've been learning, hosting different speakers to share with us about personal finance. But like I always say, personal finance is a lot more than the head knowledge that we have. The habits that we cultivate out of our learning matter a lot. So that's why it is very, very important that beyond the learning that we've had, I know we talked about investing in government securities, we talked about investing in unit trusts, we've talked about planning for emergencies and saving for them, we've talked about identifying and avoiding being part of Ponzi schemes, we've talked about unit trusts, and a couple of other topics. So I'm very sure that you've learned a great deal from these topics. And then how you apply them is going to be very important. It is very easy to learn and learn and learn, but if you do not apply what you're learning, it's not going to help you. Your Sunday afternoons are going to be wasted. So I'd like to encourage you that that is why you need to give today's session much more detail than you've always been giving to other sessions. From today's speaker, we are going to learn what are some of those habits that we need to cultivate as we seek to grow and excel at our personal finances. As I was discussing with her just before this session, one thing stood out from what I shared with her. She told me, Darius, I'm not a person of slides. So I'm going to come and share from my personal experiences. And also as a person who has been in training, as a person who has been in the space of helping others better their personal finances, I know that when you share from your experiences, there's a way people get to connect with you. So I'm very much optimistic that from today's session, the key learnings that Beatrice has had from her life journey and bettering her personal finances, you are going to pick something. Maybe to tell you something brief about Beatrice. Beatrice is currently serving as the secretary for the 212 Circle. 212 Circle is a circle that brings together staff of MTN Uganda and the different organizations that work with MTN. So it is one of the vibrant circles, if you've heard about it. And therefore, and her getting there, as well as her personal stories that I've had over time, which prompted me to invite her, is something that we can learn from. So please, I encourage you to give this session the attention that it deserves. If you have a friend who is not around yet, please invite them to come and join the session. And I would also like to encourage you that please go to our YouTube channel if you missed any of our previous sessions and subscribe so that you can check them out. The YouTube is called Personal Finance with Darius. I will be sharing the link in here. And if you're not part of our WhatsApp community, you can please get in touch with me. I think I'll also share the link so that the few spots that are remaining, one or two of you can utilize them and join. But let's be part of this learning community so that we continue to learn. As Beatrice shares, I'm going to ask that each one of us remains on mute. Please, if you have any questions, if you have any insights that you'd like to add, I would like to ask you that please put them into the chat room. And then when the moment comes, which I think is going to be the longer version of this, is going to be about questions and answers, I'll be letting you know how we can do that. But please make sure that you're on mute. Don't unmute unnecessarily. And if you have insights, put them in the chat and I'll pick them up and Beatrice will be able to respond. So at this moment, I'd like to welcome Beatrice. Beatrice, I know you did indicate that you'd like to share a lot from your personal experiences. Could you kindly tell us about how your journey to personal finance excellence started, and then maybe we will pick it up from there. Please, the floor is yours.
Okay, thank you, Darius. Thank you for the opportunity. Good evening, everyone. I'm humbled to be here. I think it's only fair for me to turn on my camera for a few minutes so that you can attach a face to the voice, and then afterwards I'll switch it on. I'll switch it off. I don't know if you're able to see me. I don't know if you're able to see me. Darius, can you see me?
Yes, we can see you, Beatrice. Yes, we can see you. Thank you.
So hi, everyone. I'm humbled to be here. My name is Beatrice, and I hope and pray that by the time we are done, I would have shared something that you would find important to your personal finance journey at the end of the day, and hopefully something that is practical that you can relate to. Yeah, allow me to switch off the video now and then we can start from there. Yes. Okay, so as Darius has introduced me, I'm Beatrice Mawemuko. I work as the secretary for the 212 Circle. I'm an accountant by profession, and I serve at our church as a treasurer in the youth ministry. So back to Darius's question of my personal finance excellence journey. Like he said when he was introducing me, I don't have any slides. I'll just share things that I think you would find relevant, either as a student or as a corporate working, or as a person who is trying to build up their business, okay? And then to just give you another overview, we will talk about some things that you might not really attach to the financial bit. This might speak to your character. But in my experience, I've learned that these have been so helpful in grooming the person I am with finances, but also to be able to be trusted with holding and being accountable for people's money. Maybe what Darius didn't say, the 212 Circle has around 900 members right now, so you can imagine how much money that is, okay? So, but apart from that, let's just go into it. And yeah, so my personal finance journey, I think growing up as a person, I've always been a hustler, in quotes, the people you call hustlers who always try to do things here and there, try to make an investment, try to see, can I try this business? Like for me, the way my mind works, if today I drove through an area, I would tell you about 3-4 business opportunities that I see in the area, just driving through and looking around and observing different things. So I've been able to harness that skill over time, but it didn't start like that. But before we go into the personal finance journey, I just want to talk about the times and the environment that we are in. This will help me to set a platform about the different things that I'm going to talk about. I think right now, since we've just concluded the second lockdown, everybody knows that the times haven't been easy, and these times have really shown us that managing your finances, your personal finances, is very key, because during these past 18 months or so, with the lockdowns and the COVID, we've seen people losing their jobs. We've seen people in businesses having their businesses closed. And then we've seen people who are suppliers to huge businesses that have closed, losing out on contracts. And so many things. We've seen families that used to have two sources of income now rely on one, okay? So because of that reality that we cannot close our eyes to, it has become so important for us to look at your personal finances. How do you manage your money? Because at the end of the day, I believe during this lockdown, so many people ask themselves, okay, let's say somebody lost their job after working full-time for 5 years. They would ask themselves, where did all this money go? So I believe that the discussion is timely, and because of that, I believe that everybody should be very eager to listen to what we will be sharing, because it's very important for us at the moment. So personal finance, I want to talk about habits that specifically not, before we go into how you save, before we go into how you invest, there are some key things that I would want to raise, that I want you, the listener, to reflect on. And some of these things, you will see how they'll feed into your personal finance excellency at the end of the day. And one of these things I will ask is, you will see how they'll come in as I share with you, be it about savings or investments along the way. So one of the things that I've learned is that in this life, you need to be a person of gratitude. Okay, now some of you are going to ask, how does that, what does that have to be to do with my finances? But hang in there. You need to be a person of gratitude. Now, gratitude is a quality of being thankful, you know, readiness to show appreciation and to return kindness. Okay. Now, when you are a person who is grateful, or a person of gratitude, you will appreciate, you will be thankful for everything that you have in your life. You will not take anything for granted. You'll be thankful for your salary. You will be thankful for a shelter over your head. You will be thankful for the food that you have before you consider the type of food, the fact that you have food. You'll be thankful. You'll be thankful that you have clothes on your back. So gratitude is a character that you need to build in yourself. Be thankful, count your blessings as a person. Then the other habit that you need to have, if it's not in your character, is to be content, to have contentment. And this is a state of happiness and satisfaction still. As a person, be contented with where you are in your journey of life. Okay, not that you will stop there, but be grateful, be contented with what you have in this point in time, wherever you are at in your journey of life. And this contentment, this character, this habit will help you not to even compare yourself with others, because you will know you are, I'm at a different journey myself from Darius. So I cannot see Darius driving a Benz and then I want to compete with him. No, be content where you are. It doesn't mean that I will never buy a Benz in my life, but at this point in time, I'm grateful and happy. At the point, I'm contented with what I have. I'm contented with where I'm at in this point in time. Then the other thing is, be a person of integrity. I do not know how much I should emphasize that, but as we talk about savings and investment, it will come in very, very handy. These, I want to call them non-financial things, these 3-4 things I'm telling you, but they are very handy if you're to achieve personal finance excellency. Be a person of integrity. Don't steal money. Don't be corrupt at office. Don't borrow money from people and not pay it back. That's the biggest problem. So many people borrow people's money and they never repay it back. So as I'm speaking right now, if you're jotting somewhere, put a mental note that after the meeting, you will write down all the people that you owe money. And hopefully by the time we finish here, you would have committed yourself to doing your best to settle those debts as fast as possible. So with those few things at the back of your mind, maybe the other thing I want to talk about is be patient. Enjoy the journey of patiently building your wealth, okay? Enjoy that journey. It will not happen one day that today you will wake up and you are a billionaire, but enjoy the journey. Enjoy the journey of patiently building your wealth, of being disciplined as you're building your wealth. Another habit you will need is to be disciplined. Another habit you will need is consistency, where you will tell yourself that I'm committing myself to do this, and then you will you will do it. Like you will commit yourself to doing it and then you will do it, okay? Then live within your means. Don't compete, live within your means. Don't, even if you're in the same office, earning the same salary, live within your means. We all have different realities of life, okay? So do your best to live within your means. Then I think I've talked about competition, okay? Now, with those habits at the back of your mind, or the habits that I've told you that I would encourage you to harness before we go into talking about savings. Let's now go and talk about savings. Savings, sometimes we give people formulas, save a 50% of your money or something, but I don't want to give a formula or something. But savings, what I want to say is that whatever your income is, whether it is business, whether it is a salary, whether it is a contract that you get once in a while, make sure that you save a minimum. Stretch yourself, a minimum of 20% of your income. It can be, depending on how often your income comes in, it might be on a monthly, it can be on a bi-monthly, it might be on a quarterly, it might be on a weekly, it might be on a daily, because I do not know the realities of the different people who are listening to me. But depending on how often your income comes in, please save. Try to do that 20% and be consistent. Now, how will you be able to do this? One, you need to understand the habit of delayed gratification, okay? Delayed gratification means every time before you're going to, before you spend on anything, ask yourself, is this a need? Is this a want? Do I really need it? Do I really have to spend money on this? Okay. And if you find yourself that the answer is, try to find, you as a person, ask yourself the motive behind, how can I call it? Find the motive behind your spend at an individual level. Ask yourself, what is my motive behind this spend? Now, when we look at your total income, for every expenditure line that you're going to spend on, ask yourself, what is the motive behind this spend? Is it because, okay, let's say if today I want to change my wardrobe and I want to buy new clothes, ask yourself, do I really need these clothes? Why am I buying these clothes? When was the last time? Like, just try to think through it, especially for us ladies, or else you might find yourself you're spending 200K on clothes every day and you have so many clothes in your wardrobe that you have even never put on. So for every expenditure, if you're going out, ask yourself, do I really need to go out? Last weekend I was out. We spent around 120. Should I spend the same amount of money? Ask yourself, you as a person, what is the motive behind your expenses? The reason why it is good to look at the motives behind your expenses is because these expenses are the ones that eat into the money that you would have saved, okay? So these expenses eat into that money. So do your best as much as possible to cut your expenses, to live within your means, and to spend on only the key things, the important things that you need to spend on. Now, back to savings. Your savings, there are so many ways you can save. For those who have circles in your company, if you do not have the habit, the discipline of being able to get your salary and maybe do a standing order to a savings account, or if you did it to a savings account, you go and withdraw that money within a week, then save, put that money in a place where you cannot access it easily, okay? If you have a circle at your office, join the circle, let your monthly deduction be like 20% of your salary. As a minimum, it can be more depending on the reality of your life. Like I've said, we have different realities. Some people have more responsibilities than the others. And you might find Darius can save 50% of his salary, yet me, I can't, because our life realities are different. So depending on your life realities, try to see that you get that income at source if you're at a salary earner, and it is saved in a place that you cannot easily access it. It can be in your circle, it can be in a unit trust fund, okay, where you will be able to earn some bit of interest at the end. So make sure that you save that money. If you don't have a discipline, then put it in a place where you can't access it easily. If you don't have such a place, then at least get an account and make sure that account, either you don't get its ATM. If you get the ATM, give the ATM card to somebody else, so that, like, it's really a hassle for you to get money off that account, and you really have to think through that journey of, do I really want to withdraw this money, right? Before I withdraw it. The other thing that I wanted to say, no amount of money, in my journey I've learned, no amount of money is too little for you to save, okay? If you saved, I think when we were in the circle initially, I used to save around 50,000, then I increased it like that, because I was saving in different pots. But at the end of the day, you'll find that your 50,000 is 600, or your 100,000 is 1.2. And that is money that you wouldn't have had if you hadn't set it aside, right? No amount is too little. Even if it's 2,000, use mobile money to save that 2,000, deposit it, because you might be like, how can I go to a bank to deposit 2,000? Put it on your savings account, open on your mobile money, go to savings and loans, and save it there in your wallet, that 2,000. But please save, because that money will come in handy on a rainy day, okay? Now, the other thing I wanted to talk about, have a budget of your expenses, not just a budget of saving, a budget of your expenses, so that after you've overspent on that budget, you don't have any more money to give out. For example, If you say that on my salary, I'm going to give 10%, and that 10%, let's say you earn 2 million and it's 200K, give everybody who asks you and you feel you really need to bless them, give a portion of that 200K. When that 200K is done, please humbly tell the person that, you know what, I would have loved to give you money, but I don't have money. Maybe next month, right? Maybe next month. And because you have the first habits we talked about of being gratitude, you're not comparing with yourself with anyone, you're content. You will find that you will be contented with the things that you have, and you will not really spend unnecessarily, okay? And like, you will not make expenses that you don't need to spend. But it's okay. I need to tell some people, I know there are some people who can't say no. It's okay to tell people you don't have money, okay? Even though you are like Darius, who they know works in MTN and has a lot of money, just say, you know what, this month, I'm sorry, I don't have money. Because your expenditure budget or your budget for blessing people is, how can I call it, is spent. You don't have money anymore, right? So the other thing that I wanted to talk about with the savings is, I just wanted to remind you that for you to be able to accumulate wealth, okay, let's say the wealth that you will have 5 years from now, it will be a clear reflection of your habits today, okay? The wealth that you will have 5 years from now will be a clear reflection of your habits that you're practicing today or right now. So I'll give you an example. All of you can just imagine yourself 5 years back, maybe as if you were a student, still you invested time in reading and what, that's why you're qualified now, okay? If you are employed, you invested time in, let's say, looking for a job. If it was a business, you invested time in, you know, building that business. That's why it has been able to reach where it is now. Now, for whatever vision that you have for your life 5 years from now, it's going to be a reflection. Whatever you will be 5 years from now will be a reflection of what you're doing currently. If you're broke in 5 years' time, it's because you didn't save. Now, if you're broke now, it's because you made some wrong decisions a few years back. That's the honest truth, or a few months back, right? Because every time, especially for the employed people, I want you to ask yourself, if you earn 3 million a month, that is 36 million a year. So that 36 million, if you end the year and you cannot see a single coin out of that 36 million, your net 36 million that hits your account every month, and you can't see any portion of that 36 million, that is a true reflection of your habits, okay? But where we said that 10% or 20% rule of savings, at least you'll be able to see your 7.2 million at the 20% rule, that I have some liquid cash of 7.2 that I managed to save. The other thing I want to talk about saving is, I'll give you an example. For salary earners, if today they gave you, let's say, a promotion and you were earning 1 million and all of a sudden your salary is doubled, so you have 2 million. The first thing you shouldn't do is to increase your, how can I call it, your status, your cost of living. No, you have to first increase your saving habit. Because the truth of this, I'll tell you how our minds work. If your mind lands, the first 2-3 months, it will be hard. But when your mind gets used to the fact that you do not get that money, okay, you will be fine the next few months, even though they increased you to 2 million and you just decided to put the 1 million into savings. Your mind, yourself, you will be conditioned. You will, you will get used to the fact that you don't have 2 million to spend but 1. So it's a habit, and the more you do it, the more consistent, the better you will be, the better you will be. So as a business owner, whether your money is daily, please save that 2,000. Don't close a business deal and not set money aside, okay? If you're cooking food, you're in catering, and let's say your contracts come in once in a while, after that contract and you've been paid, please get a 10% for those who pay your tithe, get another 20% of the money you've got and save it somewhere, all right? So apart from that, I wanted to mention that for savings to make meaning, you have to do it consistently. Your savings won't make meaning if you save once in 12 months of a year. Your savings will make meaning in the long term when you're disciplined enough to do it consistently. So make sure you're doing it consistently. And like from where we started from, the reality of COVID has showed us that you can lose your job. And this money that you've saved somewhere is the money that will help you bounce back. But at the same time, I want to, I would like to mention that make sure that the money you've saved is not dormant, okay? Don't just save your money and put it in a bank and it's not earning any interest. No, at the back of your mind, I want you to learn something. Money should always work for you. Your money should never be dormant, not at any one time. So if the bank you're saving in is not giving you any reasonable interest, please pull out that money, take it to a unit trust or something, but make sure it is making money for you. It should never be dormant, because the truth of the matter is nobody just keeps your money. That money is invested by either the bank, or if you put it in the circle, it's invested by the circle, and the circle has to give you interest at the end of the year. So please don't let your money be dormant. If where you're putting your money is dormant, like you put, let's say 10 million, you withdraw 10 million with no interest earned on that money, please pull it out. Put it somewhere else where the money will earn, where your money will grow, not just by the savings you add on, but the fact that somebody's paying you interest on top of it. And I believe you've discussed so many things with Darius from his previous speakers, where he brought people to talk about the different investments. Now, with that, allow me to go into, after talking about savings, to go into investments. Now, investments, most of us, after accumulating money, we really don't know where to put it. Or sometimes you just get tired of getting the, let's say, 12% per annum interest on your savings. And you're like, but can't this money do better? Now, the question is, how do you invest that money? Like I told you, I've been a hustler. I've done so many businesses that have failed. I went into farming and then farmed 20 acres of maize. But at the end of the day, I think I had like 500K to show for that effort. So my hands have been burnt a little bit, went into the furniture business. And by the way, as I talk about these things, don't think that those businesses are bad. They are not. It's just that me, I had made wrong decisions as I was considering the investment. So went into the furniture business, which didn't go so well. And so many other things, all right? But as I speak about investments, these are some of the few things that I've learned, especially if you're a full-time employee, because now since I'm that side, or a business person, because I run businesses. I don't know, I forgot to, when I was introducing myself, I own a real estate company. Darius will allow me to do a full kalango for that one for free, a free advert. But yeah, I'm into the real estate business, okay? So I have a business side to that. Now, when you're considering investments, before you put your money anywhere, ask yourself, do I have passion for this thing that I want to invest in? Because at the end of the day, your passion will drive you and will sustain you in the hard times. So before somebody tells you, hey, you know what, this investment thing is very nice, we should do it, I think you will get money, first ask yourself, do I have passion for this thing that I'm going to invest in? Please don't invest into farming when you don't even want any weed to touch you, and you know, don't invest into farming. Don't go into piggery when you don't even know anything about animals, you don't even want to see them. Ask yourself, where is your passion as you're considering the investment? No matter where your passion is, that's where you have to invest. I've learned that it becomes easier when you're investing in a place where your passion is. Now, after discovering where your passion is, ask yourself, what problem can I solve in this space? Okay, in the space where your passion is. Or what things are they doing but I can do better? Okay, so that will be your niche, and that is where you will focus when you're deciding to invest, okay, in that space. Then the other thing I wanted to talk about is don't fear taking risks, especially people who are below 30. I don't know the age group of Darius, but I'm just right now, I'm not ignoring anybody, but if you're below 30, please take as many risks as possible, because most of you, worst case scenario, at least if you lose all your money, you can still run back to your parents' houses. Worst case scenario, most of it. So at least you still have a fallback position. You can run to your parents' houses or your guardians, or you can stay with your sibling. Like, you know, it will be a bit understandable because most people below in their 20s or something, most of them haven't really started out families, and you losing money can be excused. So take risks, don't fear taking risks. But when I say take risks, I'm not saying just bury your head in the sand and just do anything. No, I should add, take calculated risks. Okay, so try, if you find your passion and you say that your passion is in this field, take time to get your hands dirty before you invest your money. And when I say get your hands dirty, befriend somebody who is in that business. Then try, you know, we go and do internships in offices, do internships in different businesses that you want to invest in the long term. You don't have to be there full time, but be so interested in this person's business that you will come, ask questions, understand, ask if you can help them, sit in for, if you have that opportunity, sit in, if you can give them voluntary services, please do, because in doing that, in getting your hands involved, when you're hands-on, you will learn so much about the business apart from the assumptions that you just had when you were dreaming about getting into the business. So please, even though I've talked about passion, now I'm talking about calculated risks. Make sure you understand the business before you invest in it. Research if you need to read, but let it not end there. Look for someone who is in that business, ask questions. See if you can be around as a temporary staff, just helping them running the things maybe over the weekend or something to understand how the business works. Because in doing so, you will save yourself so many losses that you would have incurred, okay, by just going heads on and investing all your savings that you have on the side. The other thing is, when you decide that, okay, I've understood a bit about this business, and let's say it's a business for selling clothes, please don't go and start competing with somebody who has done it for 10 years and you want to, just because you can afford 100 million, let's say, you just get your 100 million, boom, you're starting out and you stock your shop with clothes. No. From my experience, that's not the way you should do it. You need to, even though you have the 100 million cash to put into that business, please start by getting clothes of around 5 million. Let that be your, your sample, your testing area. Because at the end of the day, if you get your hands burnt, you will, crying over 5 million is not the same thing as crying over 100 million. Okay, so use, I was going to call them MVPs, but anyway, as you're starting out, put little capital, just enough to help you start and to learn as you go along, okay? Increase the capital in the business as you understand the business more, because truth be said, even though you go and, I've talked about the beauty about interning, shadowing, or doing business with a person who is already running the things that you do, you will not learn everything. You will not learn everything. But when you start doing it yourself, there are some things you will learn as you're, working with that person. Then there are things that you will only discover when you're heads on and you're running the business full time. Okay. So start with the little capital that you have. Don't just get all your savings for 5 years and, put it there. Then the other thing that I wanted to mention is that the truth is, running a business is hard. I've run some businesses, and it's harder if you have a full-time job. So make sure that these things will make it a bit easy. The fact that you have that experience, you haven't put a lot of money, you're learning along, and you're passionate about what you're doing. So it will help you to hang in there, because running a business, you have to be committed. You have to be committed, whatever you're going to invest in, and to see that you will see it through. And you have to always remind yourself, remember why you started, okay? Remember why you started that business. What drove you? What was your passion? Why did you invest in that sector? Why did you invest in that business? You always have to ask yourself. Those things will keep you moving when the times are hard. The other thing that I've learned about investments, I've done quite a number of businesses alone, but something hit me recently is you get to do so much. Now, leave alone these quotes that we just read on the internet, but it's a reality. I've experienced it. You get to do so much and to move faster when you do partnerships with people. One, the risk will be shared. it's not just your money, it's three people, maybe Darius, myself, and somebody else. So where you would have put, let's say 3 million, and it's all your 3 million, everybody, each of us will bring 1 million. So the risk of losing that capital is, spread. Secondly, the beauty of partnerships is you get to bring so many minds together. So you like brainstorming is not just one person thinking for the business, but three. So it moves faster. Secondly, look at it this way. The business will not have one employee, it will have three. So it will not weigh you down a lot, okay? But apart from, I know I've talked about partnerships, but somebody would ask, who do I partner with? How do I know that Darius is the right person to invest with? You have to go back to the first things that I was talking about. Is it Darius's passion? Is Darius passionate about it? Is he willing to take the risk? Has he thought through this business carefully? Apart from the hype, hey, let's go, let's put in the money. My friend is putting it in, also going to, but has he really thought through it and, analyzed what would the return on this investment be? Has he thought about it? Then look at the character of Darius as a person. Never overlook the character of the person you're investing with. Is he a person of integrity? That is very key. Because at the end of the day, you wouldn't want Darius to make a sale on behalf of the business. And then before you know it, he hasn't brought the money that you sold, that he collected, the revenue for the business. He has taken all of it. He hasn't declared the funds. So is Darius a person of integrity? Another key thing to consider in a partner is, does this person have a character? Like, is he committed as a person? Is he responsible? Is he accountable? Those things, even before you look at whether the person has money or not, they are very important as you're looking at who to invest with. Should be a person of integrity. Please never overlook that. You will cry, will end in tears, like they say these days. If you don't look at that, the person should be a person of integrity, and then accountability and responsibility will help you know that you can rely on this person in running the business. Because there are people who are happy to give you money to put in the business, but they will never be found anywhere. When you're running the business, they will leave you to run the business, but at the end of the day, they will come back and they want money. Like, hey, where is my share of profits? Yet you've hustled alone to run the business. So, and then define the roles of this partnership. Okay, defining the roles helps in such a way. There are people who really have the money, they have integrity, they are accountable, but the truth is they don't have the time. The truth is they don't have the time to sit with you and be involved in the day-to-day running of the business. So be clear on the partner you're taking on, what their role will be. And if the truth is they don't have money, but they have the capital that you need and you're willing to use their capital, they have trusted you with the money, they are willing to be your partner, at least let that be cleared from the start. Darius is my partner, but he's just putting money in the business. He won't be involved in the day-to-day running of the business. So that is very key. Please clearly discuss the roles of each of the partner, expectations. What are your expectations and the different roles that you will be playing? And I know I've emphasized a lot about integrity, but one of the things I know most of you might ask, how do I get capital? How do I get capital? The truth is, for that time I've run businesses, I've learned that capital sometimes is not the problem. No, I'll tell you, people have money that they want to invest. They don't know where to invest in. They would have wanted to give somebody to invest that money or put it in somebody's business, but they don't see anybody who has around them, who has integrity for them to trust them with their money. So sometimes capital is not the problem. You have friends who have money, a lot of, one has 1 million, another has 2, and really your business is doing well, but they all can't trust you with their money. Why? You're not a person of integrity. So be a person of integrity. People will invest in your business. I'll tell you, there are people who tell me we want to invest with you, and I'll say no. And they have the money, they are willing to invest. I'm like, no, for reasons that I might not declare here. But capital can be a problem, true, in some instances, but not always. Sometimes it's your character that is hindering you from getting money. There are people who would be happy to invest money in you if they know you are a person of integrity and you know you work out something where you will share the profits in the long term. The other thing that I wanted to talk about is how do you use your time? As we are talking about investments, how do you use your time? You know, your time is the key investment that you have in your life, because we count our years. If you look at how we count our years, the truth is we count our years in time. So how you use your time is very important. So as you spend 3 hours on your phone, what are you doing? Is it bringing money into your bank? As you spend time chatting with your friends, what are you talking about? Can't you, as a group of friends, do something amongst yourselves that could bring extra income into your pockets? So how do you use your time? The other thing I wanted to talk about that people sometimes overlook, still where I'm saying capital is not the problem, is sorry, I lost myself there. The other thing I wanted to talk about, where I was saying capital is not the problem, and sometimes it's your integrity. There are so many people in town, those for some of you who are in the trading business, who have a lot of things to sell, but they are stuck in their shops, but you're always on social media. So in that instance, the truth is capital is not your problem. You're not using social media to make money. If you find somebody stuck with stock downtown somewhere, tell them, can I sell these things for a commission? You will not need capital to buy those goods. You will not need rent to put them somewhere. You will just have to take pictures, post them on social media, let all your friends know that you sell those things, your Facebook, your Instagram, your whatever, promote those things. And as people call you for those things, you just call the person at the shop. Please send this to this person, send this to this person. And you make your commission of it. So how do you use your time? How are you using the social media platform that we have? I think I've said a lot. It's coming to 6. Darius didn't tell me how much time we have. But maybe one last thing, don't underlook any investment opportunity that you find interesting. Don't say, this one, now me as a corporate person, how will they see me running this business? As long as you're not stealing and you're not killing anybody, please invest in that business. Okay, so don't undermine any business opportunity that has been put before you. Thanks very much. So I just wanted to say the best time to start was yesterday, to start saving, to start investment, to start changing your character. and building some of those things that we talked about. And then you are the captain of your ship. If it sinks, you have no one to blame but yourself. Always remember that. You are the captain of your ship. If it sinks, you have no one to blame but yourself. Thank you very much. Thanks for listening to me. Before maybe I hand over to Darius, I run a business that sells land. It's a real estate company, so we sell plots of land, titled land in well-planned estates. So if you need a a plot of land, please, I'll be happy to sell land to you. We have plots in Chiwenda, we have in Busika, we have in Tebe Kasenyi, we have in Matuga, right? So yeah, and many more places coming up. Then if you need an apartment for rent, please, rent or buying, just let me know. Our company handles that. Then if you have a building, let's say you built your rentals, but you don't want to manage them yourselves, we also do property management services. So that is it from me. And thank you very much. Thanks, Darius, once again for this opportunity. My number for my business is 0707 522 789. 0707 522 789. Thanks again, and I'll be open to answer any questions, if any. Thanks. Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much, Beatrice, for sharing with us, with us your knowledge. It has been very insightful. I know it's 6 p.m., but I'm going to allow us to have a little more time, maybe about 10 to 15 minutes, so that if anyone has a question, they can be able to bring it up. If you have it, please bring it up. I'm going to ask that if you have a question, please raise your hand, and I'll be able to allow you to unmute and speak. Also, you could type it in the chat room, and I'll be able to pick it up and pass it on to Beatrice. So Timba, I've asked you to unmute. You can unmute and ask your question, and then
thank you, Darius. So personally, I don't have a question. Can you hear me all?
Yes, we can hear you, Timba.
So personally, I don't have any question. It's just a vote of thanks. I think I'm one of Beatrice's former customers. She talks about the furniture business, and I remember I bought my first bed from Beatrice in 2017. I think 2017 or 2018, around that time. And
wow. This is Herbert, right?
Yes, please, Beatrice. So it's been a number of businesses, and it's been a journey. When you mention your hands getting burnt and learning the hard way, it's not an easy role. Investment is not easy, but like you said, the best time to start was yesterday. The only way you will know about something is after you have started, after you have given your heart into that activity and pushed yourself to understand more. Otherwise, thank you, Beatrice. Mine was just a vote of thanks. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much
for listening.
Thank you very much, Timba, for that question, that comment, and the vote of thanks to Beatrice. Indeed, we are grateful. So, Beatrice, I have a question from the chat room, and someone is asking, is a trading business also an investment? And then I'll ask Solomon to unmute. Solomon, please unmute and be as brief as possible so that we can move on to the next.
Yes, thank you very much. Can everyone hear me? Hello?
Yes, please. Yes, please.
Yes, my question goes to Beatrice. She has talked about your hands getting burnt. Personally, I have two businesses, but one of the business, actually, I was burnt badly off, and I've not yet even recovered. But my question is, how do you tell the line? How do you tell when to cross the line between continuing to fight and giving up and saying that maybe this is not it, and maybe trying another thing altogether? Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Solomon. So, Beatrice, you're going to respond to that, and also the question from George. Then you're also going to give brief details about the 212 circle. Someone is asking in the chat room. So as we seek to welcome Beatrice, I would like to remind you that the session recordings are always posted on YouTube. So I'll post the link in the chat room, and you can visit YouTube and check out the channel and the previous sessions, as well as this session will be posted there. Loyo, I can see your hand. I'll be coming back to you after Beatrice has responded to these questions. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Darius, and thanks, Solomon and George. Was it George for the questions? I'll start with when do you call it quits for Solomon? That's how I've summarized it since your hands have been burned. Now, I want you to sit when you're clear-headed and ask yourself, what are the solutions that I have for this business if I were to make it bounce again? Do I have solutions to help it rise up again? Then after writing down the solutions, ask yourself, how much will it cost me? How much will it cost you financially, time-wise, and everything? And ask yourself, do you have that time? Secondly, be clear, ask yourself, what went wrong? Do you know what went wrong? What went wrong? Then the solutions to what went wrong, okay? And then you project that, okay, if I help this business to recover, how much will I be able to break even again? Because break even means you're in a net position where you're not making a loss and you're not making a profit either, but the business is sustaining itself. And then that will help you know how soon it will take you to make the profits. I hope those are clear. They are generic because for me, that is the thought process I think you should have. Know what went wrong, get the solutions. Those solutions, how much will it cost you? Money-wise, time-wise, whatever-wise, and ask yourself, do you have the resources to do that? If the answer is yes, go ahead, and if the answer is no, then you might want to put it on hold until you're ready to address those things. Thank you. Then trading business, is trading business an investment? Yes, people. An investment is anything that you make money from. Okay. So a trading business is an investment. It's just that maybe something I didn't talk about. You need to split your investments into 3 things: long-term, medium-term, short-term. Okay, but yes, my dear, a trading business is an investment. Then I think the last question was, what is 212 SAC about? 212 Circle is an MTN Circle, MTN Uganda Circle. It has around 900 members. It's a closed group, so if you're not working for MTN or contractors within MTN, unfortunately, you cannot be able to join, but it's a circle. We do different investments for our members, and at the end of the day, we give them a return on their investment. I think we pay the best interests out of all the circles in Uganda. Darius can testify to that. But yes, it's a circle. It's a savings and cooperative organization or cooperative association, you can call it anything. Yeah, so basically that's it, because the circle in full is savings and credit cooperative. Okay, yes. But if any of you here needs advice on how to start a circle, I can give that advice. I can guide you and we can talk about that on another platform. Yes, Darius, over to you. Thanks.
Yes, that's fantastic of you, Beatrice. So members, I hope you're learning. I hope you're having some key takeaways from this discussion. Like I said, the recording will be posted to YouTube if just you missed any part of this session. Beatrice, I have a question from the chat. So someone says, thanks, Beatrice. What trusted source of passive investment would you advise us to take up? So that is a question from, I think I'm missing out the name. But I also have Achemeza Kalist, and he's asking, how do I identify my passion? Some of us do not know ourselves. Yes, and then I'll give Loyo an opportunity to speak, and then I'll be coming back to the next questions. Yes, Beatrice, over. Let me first have Loyo, and you'll respond to them at a go. Loyo, please unmute and ask. Someone named as Loyo.
Hello.
Yes,
Hello.
Loyo, can hear you. Please ask your question briefly.
Yeah, briefly, actually, first and foremost, I would like to thank you for presentation. Actually picked a lot, but my question is, I have heard of so many people talk of how to benefit from social media. Personally, I have enough time with social media, but I don't know how I can achieve that. At the moment, I'm abroad. I'm in UAE. So there is nothing physical that I can do in our country, Uganda. Though I'm into real estate too, just like Beatrice, with some family members whereby we contribute some money to buy land around Kampala for future appreciation. But I want to know how I can actually achieve earning from social media. That is my own question. Over to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Beatrice. You can respond to those, and then we'll come for the last round of questions.
Okay, thank you, Darius, and thanks everyone who has asked. So I'll start with trusted investments. Now, this investment thing is a huge topic, but this is how I will answer it. Trusted investments, there are many, but the question is, what is your risk appetite? Because there are people who want to invest and they want to see their company growing and they know it's within their control. They don't want to take chances of losing it. So for such a person, please just invest in unit trust funds or something, or if your risk appetite is low. Then for those who have medium risk appetite, like okay, I'm going to invest this thing, I'm going to do my research, I'll take calculated risks, but at the end of the day, I know that I might get my hands burnt or I might lose some money. Try other businesses, depending on where your passion is. You know why I left it open? Passion is because you have to discover the creativity within you for you to be able to know where to invest. But there are so many things that you can do. There are so many trusted investments, but you have to know your risk appetite. Okay, you have to know your risk appetite. That will also help you guide on where you can invest or not invest. Then how do I discover my passion? I will answer it this way. What interests you? What makes you happy? What thing do you look at and you're like, I wish I could do something in this sector and solve a problem here? Or what business do you go to and because you're too passionate, you're like, I can actually do this thing better than this person. Or you're suggesting, you should do this, you should do that, you should do that, you should do that. You know, some of those things help us to discover our passions. What keeps you awake at night? It's a huge question about passion, but these things will help you answer to find it. What keeps you awake? What excites you? If you close your eyes and dreamt of a business, where does your mind run? Does it run to a farm? Does it run to Chikubo when you have a wholesale shop of sugar and salt and soap? Or does it run you just seeing money credited on your account and you don't really need the hustle, you don't want to put in the time? Well, what is your dream? When you close your eyes, what is your vision? That will help you know where your passion is. How do I benefit from social media? There are so many ways, still depending. If you're a qualified person like Darius, you can start making a program for tutoring people on how to train and, mentorship sessions and stuff. That is something you can sell off social media. If you have a business, you can promote your business off social media. The same way you post pictures for your friends. That is exactly the same way you're going to post pictures of whatever business that you want to do. You can do promoted ads to boost the business. Since you are abroad, maybe something that I'm thinking of here, you can think of something that in Uganda it's so hard to get, but you can help people buy it abroad and you can be trusted. Remember, integrity is key. So that instead of somebody boarding an air ticket and coming abroad, they send you the money and you buy for them that thing and you ship it back to them. Okay, that is if there are no online platforms where they can get, or maybe they're buying small portions of different things and it will just make sense if somebody does it for them. So, but you need to advertise yourself or your company that is buying things on behalf of people. Do that off social media. Because social media, the beauty about it, it exposes you people outside your closed circles. You out of your circle of friends, your family, and people you went to school with. So think along those lines. Yeah.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Beatrice, for those insights. Once again, we are very, very delighted and we are thankful. Before we come to the end of this session, please allow me to thank Julius Singoma Kagamba. He has been summarizing the key points for everyone who is here on the chat room. I hope you've been following. So Julius, thank you very much for volunteering to do that. We totally appreciate the service that you've given onto us. For someone who was asking about self-discovery, on this call, we have someone who could help you to discover yourself more and learn more about yourself. He's called Peter Mtunjire. Peter, you can post your question in the chat room. People can reach out to you. You can help them via coaching. But also, I'd like to continue to encourage you. The journey to improving your personal finances is not one that you achieve overnight. You can't complete it overnight. You build steps over time. Like Beatrice emphasized during her presentation, the best time to start was tomorrow. The next best time to start is now. So please, could you start building those habits? And if you feel that you struggle to build these habits and disciplines, there's a book I would like to encourage you to read. It's called Atomic Habits. It's going to explain to you in simple terms how you can start building those small yet profound habits that are going to help you get better. When you read that book, you can then, from the examples given there, you can then transfer it into other areas of your life. But what I know is personal finance is about habits. It's about applying what we learn. In fact, you need only 20% of head knowledge for you to excel with personal finances. And that is according to Dave Ramsey. The 80% of it is going to come from the habits, the disciplines, as well as the choices that you take to apply what you have planned. So once again, my name is Darius Nkwasiwe. It has been a pleasure hosting you. I just have one last question for Beatrice. I think it would be good if she can respond to it. So Beatrice, someone is asking, do you have a mentorship program? If yes, please share details. Someone thinks you would be a great coach.
Darius, thanks. I don't have a mentorship program as such. Maybe the person is pushing me to go into mentorship. The mentorship that I used to do was, this school mentorship where I would mentor students who are doing the Oxford Brookes bachelor's in applied accounting. For those who did SCCA know that. So I'm an Oxford Brookes mentor, but that is in the academic, not in the mentorship, I believe, the way the person is defining it. But I enjoy talking to people. I enjoy chatting. So feel free to call me, especially in the evening after 5, not during work hours. Most probably you might not get me. But yeah, we just to bounce ideas, just to, ask. I'll be sure to just talk, listening, and advance will chat, especially between 5 and 7. That is really okay for me.
All right.
And then I'll just, I'm seeing a question here. I'll just type my email address, and I've sent my number for the business. So in case you have anything, feel free to, to get in touch. I'll be happy to hear from you. I'll be happy to serve you. I'll be happy to do business with you. Thank you.
Thank you once again, Beatrice. It has been a pleasure having you. And for the people who have been joining us,
thanks to Darius.
For the people who have been joining us on these sessions since we started, I thank you very much. My hope is that you're going to apply what you're learning here so that it can be helpful to you. If you have been a first timer on this call, or if you've been part of us but have not yet visited my YouTube channel, I'd like to encourage you, please go to YouTube. I've posted the link in the chat room and find it. I've also posted my number. That number is the same that I use on WhatsApp. I'll post it again. So if you have issues to do with personal finances that you'd like to discuss, if you have a community that you'd like me to come and discuss for them different topics about personal finances, that is the contact that you can use. I would like to also remember that to inform you that starting the 6th of October this very year, I'm going to be giving you an opportunity to interact with me via YouTube, and that is going to be happening every Wednesday. So there you'll be interacting with me, not the guests that we invite. So please visit YouTube, subscribe so that you can look up to these sessions, and we will always interact and learn together. The journey to bettering our personal finances continues. Please, let's continue learning. Let's continue applying what we learn. That is the most important thing. I wish you a great week ahead as you apply what we've learned today. I thank you. Have a nice evening.